So we're going to talk about APIs, and the main series of exercises here I got from this book called Hacking APIs, which came out recently and was quite popular, and it comes with a API to attack. Now, APIs are application program interfaces, and most of them work like web pages. They send HTTP requests and get HTTP responses. But instead of being a whole page you'd render in a browser, you just get one little piece of information. And it's worth mentioning the OWASP, the Web Security Academy that you went through is basically based on the OWASP Top 10. OWASP is the Open Web Application Security something project. And this is their most famous output. They make this list of top 10 web app vulnerabilities. And so these are things like broken access control, injection, outdated components, and so on. And basically all the projects you do in the Web Security Academy have these vulnerabilities. And the OWASP has also made a list of vulnerabilities of APIs, which are very much similar. Broken object level authorization is the one we just exploited earlier in the Web Security Academy, where there's something like an administration page that you can access even without logging in correctly first. So there's it doesn't check your authorization before giving you access to an object. Broken authentication and various other failures. Notice many of them is broken authorization. This is the number one problem with APIs. APIs have a bunch of endpoints that offer a service, like you can go here and find out the name of the user, you can go here and find the current balance of the user, you can go here and update the data, and what keeps on happening is one or more of those requests is unauthenticated. So you can do something that only the administrator should be allowed to do without properly authenticating first, because they just forget to they keep adding new features, and one of them they forget to check for login first. This is very common. So anyway, we're going to talk about how to find these API flaws. So the first one here is the AP100. All right, so they made this API to attack, and it's crappy. Crappy.samsclass.info. So I'm going to open this in the Burp browser. So I'm going to copy the link. Copy link address, all right, and go to the Burp browser, which is here, and I'm done with the Web Security Academy. I'm going to do this, the API instead. All right, so there we are. So here you see a login page where you can make an account and log in for this thing, which I think is going to be a car sales page. Now let me get my instructions over to the side so I can refer to them while doing this. Okay. So now, I go to the login page, and I can first start by just examining it with developer tools. So this is going to be view developer tools. All right. All right, here's my developer tools. So on the network tab, all right, go to network tab and refresh. All right, and you see some network requests here. There they are. Okay, my font is a little bit too big. Let me shrink it some. All right, there's my network requests. And I want to find the request that loaded a JavaScript page called main.fd. This, your main.fc, that's cascading style sheets. Here's the one, main.fd ending in 60 chunk.js. This is the one that has the JavaScript I want to look at. And so I'm going to right-click and open it in Sources panel. And that lets me see the code here. Now, when you first view it, it's often not prettified. There is a button somewhere to make it pretty like it is here. And let me see if I can find it just to show it to you. There, it's this thing here. Yep, this is the default view where you have one horizontal line that is many screens long, which is ridiculous. So you click this thing to prettify it, making it much more readable. All right, and now you're looking at the sources of JavaScript, and we're going to look for API. So it's just Control F or logo F on my Mac keyboard here, and API. I'm just going to search for the word API, and you see right here are the APIs. These are called API endpoints. This is what they typically look like. You have a base domain name, and then you have a bunch of URLs that have API in them. So here's authorization login, here's get user, reset password, forgot password, change email, and all these things are API endpoints. Each one of these things lead to code on the server. And as I mentioned, the most common vulnerability is that some of these will forget to make sure you've logged in properly before you can execute that action. All right. So there's the endpoints, and there's a flag defined there. And all right, so there's a couple flags defined. So that's the first project, is to just find the endpoints. Now, once you've found the endpoints, then you've got to use Postman. Postman is the tool designed to inspect APIs. It is analogous to Burp, and in fact, we're going to use both of them together. So what we're going to do here is sign up for an account in Burp's browser. All right, and I'm just going to save this stuff in case I need it later in a text file, if I can get it to highlight. There. Right click, copy. Okay, I'm going to go to my text editor and save that. All right, I've got all the API endpoints saved in a file for a later reference. All right, so now I can close Developer Tools, and I can create an account. So I'm going to sign up. All right. All right, I'll use sam@aol.com. That's fine. And a password I can remember. Okay. Fill the form and click the sign up button. Okay. All right, user registered successfully. Now we're going to see the request that did that. Go into Burp. All right. And then proxy history. All right, here's a bunch of stuff, but down at the bottom will be the sign up that I just did. All right. Or so I imagined. This is disturbing. This is all really old stuff. Here's crappy. So it's been going there. The proxy history should have it. I wonder if I can filter. All right, what I'm going to do, it's too irritating to search through it. I'm going to delete all the old stuff. I'm going to make another account. Clear history, yes. And I'm going to repeat the activity here. I'll say OK. Then I'm going to sign up and try it again, SAM2. All right, and it doesn't like that. I'll make it, please enter your full name. There, now it'll be happy. All right. Let's go see how it's looking in Burp. Nothing in the history, good. So now I click sign up. Passwords do not match, okay. Now they do, okay. Sign up. Well, I don't know what's going on here. It didn't say sign up successfully. All right, let's try this again. SAM3. Okay. Sign up. Sign up successfully. Good. Finally. All right, so here's the post that did that. Okay, so it's a post request. Here's the API endpoint, identity API auth sign up. The content type is JSON, the JavaScript object notation. And here's the JSON data. You see structured with these curly braces and a list of name, value, in quotes. Your name, email, number, and password are in there. That's how it works. So now that you know how this request works, we're going to put it in Postman. Postman is just another tool, another Java-based tool like Burp that you install. And I've got it here. Okay, here's Postman. And we're going to make that request in Postman. So, let me shrink this a bit so I can see instructions better. That's not the right page. That I want nice and big. This is the one I want smaller. Okay, there. So I'm going to make a new workspace up here with the plus. All right, that gives me a new untitled request to work with, and now I can build the request. So it's going to be a post request, not a get, and it's going to go to the URL, which is this, crappy.samsclass.info identity API auth sign up. Now here we're going to fill in the body. So we change it from none to raw, and then change the subtype to JSON. All right, and now we can paste in the data from my instructions, which looks like this. Here it is all in one line. Here's the beautify button to make it look like this. And so there it is, and I'm going to make I'm going to call it Bob. All right. And now I can, do I want to send it now or what? Let me take a look. I made the request. Now I want to send it through Burp. So I have to go to settings up here. And of course, when I use Burp, HTTPS is going to be broken because Burp is in the middle sending a fake certificate. So I have to turn off SSL certificate validation. If that's on, it will refuse to send HTTPS requests through a proxy. And then I go to the proxy tab and I choose proxy 127.0.0.1 which is where Burp is normally listening. So then I close this, and now in Burp, Burp should already be listening on that, but I can check it in proxy settings. At the top of this, there we are, it's listening on 127.0.0.1 so this should work. So now I should be able to send the sign up request. I send, and here's the reply, and the reply says user registered successfully, so it worked. And if I go to Burp and go to the HTTP history, there it is. You see another post request under this one. So it worked. I did a sign up. There's the reply. So now I'm able to use Postman and Burp together. Now, the next thing is, if I want to do authenticated things in Postman, I need to get the bearer token. So, I'm going to log in Burp's browser. So I go to the Burp's browser here, click OK. Now I log in. So I'll use bob2 at AOL.com, the one I just created in Postman, and the password, and log in. Okay, I'm in. It's recognized Good Morning Bob 2. Now I need to find the bearer token. So I go to Burp, and I look for the post. This was the sign up. This is the login. So I go to this one, and look at the request tab. Okay, so this is the post after I've logged in. Now I get information about vehicles. If I look at the get, this is the one that logged in. If I go to the get request, notice here it is. When I send a request now after logging in, it has this authorization header file. That is my bearer token. So I want to add that to Postman. So I'm going to highlight the blob of base64 data. This is a bearer token. It's in fact a JWT, a Java Web Token, and I'm going to copy it. Okay. Now, in Postman, I'm going to make a collection. So I go to Postman. All right. And over here, I create a collection, which is going to be, I'd like to rename it. Oh, it's over here you name it. Okay. There. Name it crappy. All right. And now I add the bearer token. So in the center pane, I'm in authorization. My type is bearer token. Okay, and I paste in my token value here. That's that big blob of base64 stuff that I copied from Burp. All right. And now this is the very important step that I often missed when I started using this. You have to save it here. If you don't save it, it won't remember. So now it's saved. There's a picture of floppy disk up there. All right. So now I should be able to post. So if I go in the Burp browser and make a new post, I go community, new post. All right, and I add something here. All right. And add a post. All right, it says post created. So now I go to Burp to see what that post looks like. And down here I see a post command to go to community posts. Here's the, however, that's the post, but here's the get recent posts request. It comes before that. We're going to examine that. All right. So we want to add that get request to Postman. So we go here and add a request in Postman. Let me get the Postman. All right. Add a request here. Okay. Now we're going to bring in the URL from Burp. So I can click anywhere in here and copy URL and paste it in here. All right. And it's a GET request, which is in fact what we've got here. And that's it. So they've created this thing. Now I should be able to send it. And we'll see if it requests. And see, it does give me posts like the one I just made called Test and Test. So it accepted my credentials of being logged in, which I was because I had the bearer token in there. So that's enough to get you started. I'm going to stop this recording.